The following video is rated G for all general audiences. Please read the description for more information.
Why is the TV still on? You're still up? You've got to get some sleep. You haven't for the last 2 nights. You have to be exhausted by now. You still can't sleep. Well, maybe it would help if you didn't have the TV on. There. Now come on. At least try laying down with me for a minute. Come on, just indulge me, would you? There we go. Now get closer to me. And just hold me like this. Isn't this nice? Just take a couple of deep breaths. Yeah, I know it doesn't work, but your heart is absolutely racing right now. There we go, come on. Well, what do you suggest then? What am I supposed to do, read you a bedtime story? Wait, you actually want me to read you a bedtime story? Okay, I don't think we have any books that you haven't read through at least 4 times, so I guess I can make one up. It's probably not going to be that good, but we'll see. Okay, once upon a time there was a devilishly good-looking spy who was working for a top-secret organization. One day, they were called into the boss's office and received an assignment that would forever change their life. The target was a high-class heiress who was believed to be the ringleader in an overseas intelligence operation. The spy was assigned to get close to the heiress and gain her trust enough to infiltrate the organization and discover its top members. The spy took a flight out and began working, set up in an apartment across the street from the building where the heiress was working. They noticed that she'd go into the same coffee shop every day before heading into the office. So, naturally, they found a way to get a job there. The next time the heiress came in, the spy worked their magic and began to entice and seduce her. But after a few weeks of trying, the spy couldn't get a good read on her emotions towards them. So they decided to apply directly with the company, and luckily the position of her personal assistant became available. During the interview, they showed up early and were waiting in her office. While they tried to snoop around, she came through the door holding a couple of coffees and some pastries. She apologized for being late, even though it was only 2 minutes, and offered the spy a series of options to eat or drink. The spy was hesitant, but accepted. They talked for hours about the qualifications of the job, as well as other random tangents. The spy was finding it harder and harder to pinpoint exactly what type of inner circle she was a part of. They started gathering information about her, that she loves coffee at the shop across the street because it was her grandmother's shop, that her veteran father was planning to retire because her mother got too sick to work, that she worked hard to gain her title, and the employees really do respect her. The organization dealt in security systems. Her department was in charge of the programming elements to the robotic cameras that the military personnel would use on bases. She even coined a few concepts for the company. The spy was finally getting her to open up and relax. Eventually, she had to wrap up the meeting and send the spy on their way. The next day, they received a call that they had obviously gotten the job and would begin work in a few hours. Heading in, right away they could tell the job was going to get crazy. She was running around handling 5 different problems. She grabbed the spy's hand and brought them over to the office where there was a folder waiting on the desk. Her hand was warm, the spy noticed. She was gentle with her grip. She sat the spy down at the desk and whispered to them while covering up her phone with her hand and said, "Everything you need is in the folder. Just let me know if you have any questions." And she took off. When the spy opened the folder, they found another folder with a series of pictures inside. It was schematics for her next project, a high-powered system that would analyze DNA while troops were in remote locations. The request was to organize the schedule she had laid out for the development team and deliver it to them directly. Seemed simple enough. So the spy began working and began introducing themselves to the other employees, trying to get some info on the boss. But everyone had nothing but nice things to say about her. She even paid for all of them to get special certifications whenever they needed to be renewed or updated. So far, the spy was reporting back nothing to the Bureau about the heiress. How nothing seemed to be out of the ordinary, until one day, about a month later, when her father stopped by. He was accompanied by a series of other gentlemen, and they were all gathered inside her office. She looked scared for some reason, like she knew something was going to happen. Thanks to the bug the spy placed, they were able to hear her father planning to move forward with their latest project with their new special clients, and how he wanted her to escort them around town, to take them out to dinner and the like. After he left, she seemed shook up. The spy felt a weird feeling in their gut and made sure to stay as close as possible while she showed the new clients around town the following night. Turns out those clients were two men from another country, young entrepreneurs who were looking to get her father's investment in their latest project. She was there to deliver the good news that her father was very much interested in moving forward immediately with the project. The clients, naturally, were very excited. And as the night continued on, and eventually came to an end, they got a little too close for comfort. She tried to shake them off, but just before they were able to catch up to her, the spy stepped in and took them out. She turned around to see that they were both gone, and she was so scared that she just sat there on the sidewalk for a minute and began to cry. The spy stepped around the corner and draped her in a jacket and escorted her home. As they were driving back, she asked the obvious question as to why they were following her. The spy told a story about how they were worried about the idea of her going out alone, that they wanted to make sure that she was all right. She began to shake. She wondered how much of the conversation they heard with their father and the plans for the company. But as they got to her place, she handed the spy back their coat and stepped out of the car. And as she was about to close the door, the spy called out one last time and said that they'd always be there to make sure that she was safe. She didn't know how to react. She just began to blush and closed the door. The next day, the heiress didn't show up to work. And according to the secretary, her father's employees had called and let them know that they would be taking her out today. The spy took this opportunity to sneak into her office and start searching for any kind of clues. While searching the entire office, not finding anything, the spy came across a small leather notebook with notes about several contacts in it. The contacts were ranked in a certain order and provided addresses to their jobs and homes, as well as listing physical characteristics. There was a note on the back of the book with today's date on it that talked about how if the deal went through, then a foreign country would have direct access to U.S. military camera feeds. How she didn't know how to stop it, but her father was desperate. The spy headed straight to the address that was listed in the note, seeing a bunch of cars parked in several locations, as well as hearing a couple of people argue nearby in a home in the middle of the suburbs. Inside, they could see the heiress with her father inside, along with several other people gathered around, about to sign a document that would make the deal official. When all of a sudden, police began to appear and gunfire began to ring out. After an intense firefight, the police were able to break into the home and rescue the heiress, who was hiding in a nearby room. Everyone else was gone. The spy rushed over to the heiress's side and just held her, their heart racing from the fear. They thought they'd completely lost her. Later that day, the spy reported back what they found, and how the heiress was just a pawn in a much bigger scheme. The Bureau decided to let her go and ensure her that she'd be protected against anyone that would try to seek revenge. The spy was assigned another very special task, guarding her life at all costs, and they lived stressfully ever after. The end. How was that? Oh, you're asleep. Great. I thought it was a great story. I'm a good storyteller.